Hi, this is Tristan Rhodes with Rupert Neve Designs. I was here at Sweetwater today for a sales training on the new Portico 2 channel strip. Today I'd like to show you some of the features and also talk a little bit about the inside circuitry that really make the Portico 2 special. Essentially, everything in the Rupert Neve Designs product range is based around Rupert's traditional topologies, but with a modern twist, using his custom transformer designs, Class A electronics, and in the case of the Portico 2 and the 5088, a new class of high voltage, discrete Class A op amps that are used throughout the channel strip. So the real idea with this channel strip is it's a unit that anybody can plug anything into, and it has the tonal controls and the capability to mold any incoming source material and make great music with it. So starting with the features, the mic pre, 72 dB of gain, switched, and also a continuous trim. You've got also a DI input with a through or a line input. There you have mute, phase, and phantom power control in that section. Following that, you've got a high-pass filter, swept from 20 to 250 hertz. And what's cool about this high-pass filter is you can also send it, instead of to the main channel and main output, you can send it to the high-pass side chain on the compressor, which can greatly change your VCA response characteristic. Moving on, we come to the EQ, which is 4 bands. You've got high and low shelves, which can be switched to peak or shelf. Switched frequency. The mid bands are fully parametric. You've got Q, frequency, and gain control plus and minus 15. What's very cool about the high mid frequency is that you've actually got a de-esser built into the high mid frequency. So you can turn it from off to max and then use the high mid filters, the Q and the frequency, to tune that de-esser. And while that de-esser is using, you can still use that EQ at the frequency. Individual band engages as well for critical listening, and also the ability to fully remove the EQ from the section and then also move the EQ in line after the compressor. Finally, we have the compressor, which is very similar in sound to the existing 5043 module. You've got threshold ratio, attack release, gain, but then you also have a new control, blend. Blend essentially lets you do parallel compression in the box. So sometimes when you really need to squish something, but once you squish it, you start to lose the dynamics, that sense of life and vibrancy. You can use this blend control to dial back in a little bit of that naturalness, which really goes a long way to making emotionally resonant music. You also have the ability to switch between feed forward and feedback VCA modes. Feed forward is very modern sounding, crisp, fast, responsive. Feedback is like Rupert's old 33609 designs. It's smoother, some say with more musical sounding response, a little bit washy, but in that great kind of a way. You've also got the ability to link multiple units for stereo. Also have the ability to externally sidechain the compressor VCA feed, and a RMS peak button, which essentially turns the unit into an instantaneous peak limiter. Then we have the texture section, which, just like the silk control on the existing Portico units, you can engage the silk, but this time you have 2 modes, silk and silk plus, and the capability to dial in that effect about twice as far as the existing Portico range modules. Silk Plus tends to be a higher frequency type of sound. So if you are running a vocal or a track through that needs to shine and spark a little bit on top, you can switch it to regular silk mode, dial up the texture, and instead of trying to make EQs work, the saturation effect in the high frequencies tends to mimic what's already there in the instrument. So it's kind of just a no-brainer switch. Make it sound sweeter and richer up top. Put it on regular silk, dial it up. Similarly, if you want to make a deep, resonant, hard-hitting bass, like one of those guitars that punches you in the chest, or just that deep, thick sound, switching it to Silk Plus and dialing in that texture effect, it's very different from just adding low end. You're actually adding a thickness by saturating the low frequencies in the transformers. And that really gives you the capability to do all kinds of coloration that just don't exist on any other product. So if you have any further questions on the Portico 2, please contact your Sweetwater sales engineer today.